Trump declares the coronavirus a national emergency. Congress passes a massive relief bill. And the U.S. expands its travel ban. Welcome back to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. The coronavirus. You might have heard about it. In fact, if you watch our other channel, China Uncensored, you've been hearing about it since January. And we've been covering it here too. Now that it's spreading across the United States, thousands of people here have been infected and several dozen have died. I think it's time for another America Uncovered mental health break. Look at this adorable sea otter, maintaining good hygiene while also maintaining a safe distance from other otters. We all ought to do the same. Last Friday, President Trump declared the coronavirus a national emergency.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words.
They are big words. Great words. The best words. So what does declaring these two big words mean?
The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of very important and a large amount of money for states and territories and localities in our shared fight against this disease.
And these people standing behind Trump include top executives of half a dozen health and medical companies. The goal is to get coronavirus test kits produced and distributed as fast as possible. They aim to produce 5 million test kits within a month. Hopefully, that will be enough as the coronavirus spreads out of control. On the other hand, if the virus goes away quickly, total waste. And then who's going to pay for it? Well, not the consumer. The Trump administration says they will make the test kits available to Americans for free. This is critically important for families who live paycheck to paycheck, and for my broke roommate Carl, who refuses to get a job. And no, Carl, social media influencer is not a real job if you only have 2 followers, and they're your mom and dad. Anyway, to help Americans get tested for the coronavirus, Trump has also partnered with some of America's biggest retailers, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Target. They've agreed to make millions of test kits available, and where possible, to set up drive-through coronavirus testing in their parking lots. America's worst drive-through. Well, second worst, after Arby's. Of course, by the time you get yourself tested, it may already be a bit late, which is why starting now, you should practice what's called social distancing. For example, you should really stop shaking people's hands. Oh, for Pete's sake, stop. Stop! The next day, a reporter called him on it.
Why are you shaking hands, sir?
Because it almost becomes a habit and you get out of that habit. And frankly, I was a non-handshaker for the most part. I never believed that shaking hands once you become a politician. And I notice it too. Political people walk up to me, they want to shake my hand. I said, well, getting away from shaking hands is a good thing. And possibly that's something that comes out of this. Maybe people shouldn't be shaking hands for the long term because it does transmit flu and other things.
Okay, that's fair. It does take time to unlearn bad habits, like eating at Arby's. Anyway, it seems that Trump can unlearn. I just hope he doesn't start bragging about being the most unlearned. He tweeted this the same day.
Social distancing, so important.
Yeah, we should do it like Taiwan's president. And when you're in public, you should stand at least 6 feet away from strangers. I know that's hard to do if you live in a city, which is why I'm going to share my #1 social distancing tip with all of you. Wear one of these plague masks, and strangers won't come within 6 feet of you. But some people are coming together during this national emergency. Republicans and Democrats. The House just passed a massive coronavirus relief bill. The Senate is expected to pass it soon, and Trump has said he'll sign it. Among other things, the bill will provide paid sick leave so people don't feel pressure to go to work when they really shouldn't, funds for states to pay unemployment benefits to people who can't get a job because of the coronavirus, food aid for families whose kids are not attending school because so many schools are shut down, and free coronavirus testing for everyone whose insurance won't cover it. It's really nice to see Republicans and Democrats coming together on this. I just hope they don't come too close together. No social distancing, people! Meanwhile, across the country, states and cities at the highest risk are taking dramatic action to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. The governor of California has urged all bars to close, which is good news. Now you can avoid two nasty coronas at once. In New York City, there are already more than 300 cases of the coronavirus. Broadway has been canceled because this is one case where the show definitely should not go on. Restaurants and bars are also closed, and the mayor has ordered a near complete shutdown of public schools until at least April 20th. So more than 1 million kids are getting 5 weeks off school, and they don't even have to pretend to be sick like I used to. We'll probably be seeing more cities and states put similar shutdowns in place over the next few days. I just hope they don't shut down Arby's. I totally don't eat at Arby's anymore. And in Washington, D.C., the U.S. Federal Reserve has cut the interest rate to near zero. They hope this will stimulate economic growth. In particular, they hope it will boost the stock market because when the bond rate is zero, investing in literally anything else looks more appealing. Will this help? We'll just have to wait and see. But it can't get much worse, since the stock market is already in panic mode. On the plus side, Amazon has a wide selection of panic buttons available, so you might want to invest in one of those. The Fed also announced that it will do $700 billion of quantitative easing, which is a complicated way of saying they will be printing $700 billion out of thin air. That's what I call economic stimulus, although you won't be directly seeing any of that. The US has added more countries to the international travel ban, including the UK. Good. I'm tired of all those smart-sounding British people coming here and taking our jobs. Wait, can we ban British people who are already here? And finally, China, the place where the coronavirus first spread. The place where officials knew about it back in December, but then covered it up for 6 weeks, which is why it's now spreading globally. Well, it turns out China also manufactures most of America's pharmaceuticals and medical equipment. And unless the US does China's bidding, China has threatened to use its stranglehold over our drugs and medical supplies to throw America into the mighty sea of the coronavirus. Well, the US government is now working on a plan to break China's stranglehold and bring that manufacturing back to the US.
We're going to put in motion a long-term trend to bring our pharmaceuticals, our medical equipment, our medical supplies home on domestic soil, and we won't have to worry every time we have a crisis whether that supply chain is going to break down.
So in the future, we won't have to fight with the Chinese regime over critical medical supplies. Don't worry, Americans can still fight with each other. And that's it for this episode of America Uncovered. This episode has probably been demonetized by YouTube because YouTube doesn't like independent media talking about the coronavirus. And that's why we rely on support from our viewers. Without direct viewer support, we couldn't keep making this show. Please go to patreon.com/AmericaUncovered and contribute $1 or more per episode to help us keep making episodes like this. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.